Today I took a trip down memory lane and revisited some of the most iconic Roblox games from our childhood. Some of these you may remember, some of these you may not, and comment below if you want a part 2. The first game I was going to revisit was the normal elevator. I immediately ran into the elevator after joining and was met with this. There were lots of other things in the elevator too, such as the 2 big cheeses, this girl having a potato that talked through comic style word bubbles, and this buff bacon hair. The next floor we got to was this big mountainous region, and this ninja in a UFO started to shake the elevator, attempting to make us fall to our deaths. I was able to avoid falling through the doorway, but I somehow glitched out through the walls and still ended up dying. There were a lot of other things that happened after that, such as a massive hole appearing in the middle of the floor, the elevator getting sucked into a black hole, a cat dancing to an old internet meme, this guy in a jack-o'-lantern suit entering the elevator, and me discovering a single sheep in a field of cows. It was then I found out that there was actually a shop, and I decided to buy a burger with the 8 coins that I had. I then decided to eat it in front of one of the cows, but afterwards, I realized the mistake I had made when my legs became extremely overweight. After watching a Pokemon battle and this buff noob joining us in the elevator, I left to move on to the next game, which is one of my personal favorites. Escape High School Obby. The first thing I noticed before joining was that there were 0 players online and the game had not been updated for 3 years, meaning that it was completely dead. Yeah, so that's kinda sad. Nevertheless, I pressed play and began to do the obby. As I progressed, memories began quickly coming back to me. The hallways, the gym, the music room, the science class, and the math teacher who doesn't understand what 1 + 1 is. After making it back home and messing around with the paths, I moved on to the next game, which is also an obby. Escape Grandma's House Obby. Now this game still had people playing it, but barely anybody was doing so, which is also kind of sad considering all the attention it used to get back then. The second I joined, I was instantly hit by a blast of nostalgia, which only continued as I made my way through the game. The next game I'd be playing was Zombie Rush. I was instantly attacked by a horde of zombies, but was able to fight them off with a sword I had. Later on, I began guarding this big area above spawn, and I was even able to meet William Afton. Yes, the real William Afton.
This really brings back memories for me.
I was eventually killed by some zombies, but not to worry because I came back as one of them. I attempted to kill this person over here, but they ended up killing me first, and that caused me to rage quit and move on to the next game. Ride a box down a slide, which is basically slide down 99 feet. I immediately hopped into a capybara cart that I definitely did not steal from this guy and began my long journey down the slide. Get crushed by a speeding wall. This was the only game on this list that still had over 1,000 players. I walked inside the building where the speeding wall would be, and I noticed this very large red button. I went over to take a look at it, and the second I turned around, I was instantly crushed by the wall. Then I decided to get serious and try and survive.
Get over here! You finna...
The final game I was going to be revisiting was Icebreaker, which also seems to have lost the majority of its players. Everything about the game was nostalgic. The map, the lobby, and just about everything else. Within a few seconds, the whole server was battling in the middle of the map, and it seemed like we were going to win. But when we found the last guy, the tables turned. Now that me and my team were away from the frozen players, that gave this guy the upper hand to run in and unfreeze them. I tried my best to stop him, but in the end, I ended up getting frozen along with the rest of my teammates, leaving only one guy left.